Herzlich willkommen zum musotalk, dem Music- und Sound-Production-Podcast aus Berlin.
Hallo und herzlich willkommen zum Report von der Superbooth 2017 in Berlin. Jetzt bin ich bei Novation und bevor gleich der Chris mir alle Features oder die wichtigsten Features von der Circuit Mono Station vorstellt, möchte ich euch kurz auf Deutsch nochmal meinen ersten Eindruck wiedergeben. Also im Prinzip haben wir den Sequencer aus dem Circuit jetzt hier im Circuit Mono Station. Allerdings noch nicht alle Sequencer-Features, die im Circuit funktionieren, sind hier schon implementiert. Aber ich gehe mal davon aus, dass das auf jeden Fall nachgereicht wird. Dann hängt jetzt am Circuit eine Bass Station 2 Klangerzeugung dran. Und man kann auch alle Parameter in Echtzeit automatisieren. Was noch nicht geht, ist, dass man das eben pro Step einfach einstellt und dann von Step zu Step die Automation schreiben kann. Aber das ist auch alles, was uns der Chris heute gezeigt hat, noch eine Vorabversion, noch die erste Firmware. Ich gehe davon aus, dass man beim Release noch mehrere neue Funktionen dazu hat. Insgesamt fühlt sich das Ganze ziemlich gut an und tja, bin mal gespannt, was gleich der Chris dazu alles erzählen wird. Hi Chris.
Hello Eric. My pleasure to be here and also to have here for you the mono station at Superbooth.
Yeah, and what I really like is the circuit, but I didn't like the sound.
Okay,
so when this was introduced yesterday, I thought that would be a perfect machine for me. It's a kind of a base station feel, plus all this pad-orientated sequencing, because when I was still, doing my techno stuff, I used to program all the melodies, everything on the MPC pads. Right. So I'm not the keyboard guy, I'm more the pad guy, so that may be the product for me. Absolutely. So, off you go.
Cool, well thanks. Well, you're quite right. I mean, Circuit, the sequencer on Circuit is a very powerful sequencer. It's very, it's kind of small and limited, if you like, but actually you can get a lot of power out of it. And so, to take the idea of the circuit sequencer, but put that together with, our love of analog synthesizers, basically, if you like, a bass station 2 inside of here, put the two together, it makes a very interesting and powerful product. It's very different. I mean, this isn't, meant to be a replacement or Circuit 2 or Circuit Pro or anything like that. This is just, it is what it is. It's a great sounding analog mono.
Sounding, let's hear it.
Yeah, let's hear it. So, well, I mean, here, of course, it's just, we've got waveforms going on here, but it's paraphonic as well. So it's a mono synth. It's got a single filter, single amplifier, but there are two separate oscillators. And we're going to paraphonic mode. You can trigger both of them. And we've got basic waveforms, so square, yeah. Nice range as well on the octaves there. And then we've got a sine, we've got a triangle. Let's go up. And we've got the sawtooth as well, of course. Now that's the same for both oscillators. So we have the different octave ranges as well, of course. And then
this is all just sort of standard sort of bass station, synthesizer style. But tell me a little bit more about the interaction between the sequencer and the sound engine. What can I do in terms of, can I program different sounds on a different step or what?
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, let me just get to a fresh patch here. So let's change the scale to a keyboard scale so I know what notes they are. So if I just put, play the right ones, let's go for this one. And then.
But Chris, you could also set it up so it will be just in one scale, conform to one scale, and so no matter what you press, it will be in the right tuning.
We've got the scales mode here. I come from these note things here, you see, so I'd like to see what's going on. But of course, you've got 16 preset scales here. You've got transposition on this page as well. So we've got all of the scales mode that you'll find in the traditional circuit. So if you don't want chromatic, if you want just a minor, if you want, whatever it is, the type of scale that you'll find in circuit, it's there. But I like a good old chromatic occasionally, So anyway, I just put some notes in there. Let's just put some extra notes in here, and then, so I'm just going to bring down the amplifier envelope a bit there, so we can just get a bit of spikiness there, a bit of release. So
could I have like in a sequence, a couple of notes with a short envelope, and then maybe have the last two notes, you know, open up the envelope.
Yep, so this is one of the really great things about MonoStation. All that you see on the top panel here is automatable, so including the envelope. So if I hold, you know, we've got our momentary record feature here. I can either tap it and it stays in record, or I can hold it down and it holds for as long as I hold it. But if I do that, I can... So I've now automated that.
Easy.
Yeah, really super easy to do. Let's, same with the filter here. I think I've got some LFO madness going on there. Let's just shake that off, yeah. There we go. So I must say as well, this is an early firmware, so there are things that are going to be fine-tuned and brought in as time goes on. But let's go back. So now I've got the filter on there. Let's go back to the amp. Yeah, off there. So.
But now it overrode the automation that you did before, right?
Okay, so no, because I've changed my page here. So if I go back, again, as I say, early firmware. Maybe it has done, but but yeah. But you know, obviously when that's sorted out, it won't be overwriting in that way. But I can automate the other things as well.
The automation only works in real time. I couldn't go to one certain step, set it up.
Yeah. At this point, it is only real time. But as you, well, if you know, on the circuit we have a step automation, and I'm pretty certain that is going to be a feature on here as well. In fact, I'm pretty sure it is. I need to check with the developers properly, but I think I'm pretty certain that's going to be a feature on here as well.
And how would I work this paraphonic? Means I have, if it's two oscillators, I can have two different pitches on one step.
Yes, indeed. So the oscillators, if we just turn up oscillator 2, you see there's nothing on the sequencer here. So I'm just getting straightforward oscillator 1 style. I'll just over-record that now. But you can see I've got oscillator 2 playing. Maybe I'll change the pitch. There we go. So, and then fine-tuning, change the oscillator type. So at the moment, we're just having oscillator 1 triggering. But then say I play some notes on here. So let's go like this. Again, I'm just randomly tapping notes here. So you can hear now we've got, okay, musically not amazing, but you got the idea now. We've got the two oscillators separated and operating separately. So if I just let's just clear this automation stuff, because I think that's causing, there we go. So if I bring in oscillator 1 again, so it's there. I've got a sub-oscillator as well, which is tied to oscillator 1. And then, so now I've gone into paraphonic mode, and what's going to happen here is that the envelope is going to trigger from oscillator 1. So you can actually have lots of different notes, but get different rhythmic feelings, which is quite nice. Distortion as well. So the distortion after, we've got 3 types of distortion here. Is the 3rd type, and then we've got an overdrive running into the filter, so we can, you know, rough up the sound going in as well. 24 dB, and 12 dB per octave. I can separate the oscillator 2 from the frequency if I want. So if I just, now we're getting the raw oscillator here, whereas oscillator 1 is still running through the filter.
Right, I think I've got the idea. So how do I set this up if I'm in Logic or Cubase and I want to sort of sync it up, you know, or use this, use this together with Cubase?
Question. So if I just spin this around so you can see on the back what we have. We have got USB, so we've got MIDI over USB.
No audio.
No audio over USB, MIDI over USB here. We've got MIDI in and out and through. So this can be at the beginning.
This is a new standard, right? With the new plugs. Yay! Yeah.
I mean, obviously, in an inch-high box like this, you know, real estate is quite rare. It's quite a precious thing. So Yeah, so the mini jacks work, but actually this is a neat thing. I should show you. This is just a basic stereo mini jack cable, and I can sync up my circuits and mono station just with that. So I mean, I think that's a really nice thing. So I'll plug that back in. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, so MIDI in, out and through. Analog clock as well. So we got clock in and clock out. And then CV and gates, which currently is tied to oscillator 1. So that's going to sequence from oscillator 1 directly to your module or whatever it is you want to do. And then the auxiliary CV output as well. And this is a nice thing because in our mod matrix here, the auxiliary CV is a destination. So I can send my circuit monostation envelope, LFO, or my modulation sequence. We have a third sequencer here, which is for the modulation. And I can send my sequence to any of these destinations, including your external modular CV output. And finally, velocity is also available to do that.
So I can hook that up to all this Euro rec crazy guys.
I would say
they can use
they
this.
Can use it as well.
Yeah,
and you're in the box and you're using Logic, you're using DAWs. You know, you've got your
all the MIDI is coming out into Logic from this, and I sync it up with MIDI clock.
Well, again via the USB, I guess. You know, so
MIDI.
Well, I mean, you'd need to speak.
We have to live with it.
We need to speak to computer manufacturers about that, don't we? We need to get them to put a dedicated MIDI.
We need some kind of sample accurate clocking, you know, for everything external.
No, yeah, that's it. But I mean, you know, that is what it is. You know, but this works perfectly well in that situation. I mean, you could always trigger the notes because we will have a page where we can change MIDI channels as well for the oscillators. So, you know, where a circuit is fixed on MIDI channel 1, 2, and 10 for the drums, 16 for the global stuff. This we'll be able to say, okay, oscillator 1 is on this channel, oscillator 2 is on this channel, mod sequence is on another channel. And if that's the situation, you could actually, if you wanted to, not use the sequence here, but drive it from Logic.
Okay. That's not what we want.
No, exactly. I mean, the whole point of this box is everything is there, you know.
Great. When will it be there? How much is going to cost? Okay,
so I think we're looking at mid-June in stores. That's what we're looking at. And in terms of cost, in dollars, it's going to be about $499, something like this. So, yeah.
Thanks very much.
Hey, my pleasure. Thank you, Eric.
Welcome.